It's a very quiet day yesterday.
It is. Doesn't look like we have anyone here yet. Oh, it's booked too soon.
Jeremy, hello.
Hello, Jeremy. Hi, Jorge. All right. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. It is Thursday, September 22nd. My name is Sandel Sifa. I'm a sales engineer here at Decisions, and I will be your host for today. It doesn't look like we have any pre-submitted questions, but I am happy to take your questions right now if you have any for me. Otherwise, I'm happy to talk about some features that might be helpful to you in your developer journey. Gonna give it a couple of minutes. Okay. We are going to get started just building something together. Today, I want to focus on forms and using vertical stacks to design your form. So let's do that. All right, coming into my my Decision Studio here. Most of you are familiar with this, so I'm not gonna talk much about this. Feel free to interrupt me at any point. I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I'm gonna start by creating my flow. Today is 9/22. All right, so I know some of you might be wondering what stacks are and why we would need to use them. I'm gonna give you an example. There are times where you have maybe a questionnaire, for example. You might not need to see all the questions at one time. Sometimes some of the questions may not be relevant unless the answer to one or two questions is, for example, A. And then you have follow-up questions on A. So in that case, you might need to hide and show some of the questions as and when the results or the responses come in. Now you can choose to just hide and show with active form flows, but sometimes or all the time when you do that, you notice that when the form renders, there would be gaps in the form, in the questions that you're asking. And aesthetically, it's not very pleasing. So that's why your stacks come in. Your stacks would collapse the questions you don't need to see immediately. And when the, that grid or the question is triggered to show, the stack would expand to accommodate that question showing up. So we're going to build out a form here. And I'm just going to build a regular form. I'm going to call it stack show off because I want to show this off. And let's go into that. So when we create our form initially, you notice that we have our initial grid that has been put on this. If I select this and I select my surface, you notice that my container type is a grid layout. If you click here, you have the option of changing your grid layout to a responsive grid, a horizontal stack, a vertical stack, a grid, canvas, etc. Now I like to start with my grid layout just because it helps me arrange my form the way I want it to be. But then we can go out here and search for a vertical stack, for example. We can expand that all the way. If I didn't have this grid layout here, it would be much easier, but it's fine. All right. Now this vertical grid is what's going to control everything that I do on this form. To make it work the way we want it to work, you actually would need to use little grids. Now, the way to determine which grid layouts you want to use or how many grid layouts you want to use is by figuring out what you want to hide and show at one time. So mind you, the vertical stack is going to collapse the entire grid that you want to hide and then expand it when it's triggered. So if I had, for example, my first question would be, got this, I only want one row because I have one question, and I can modify this. Throw in a label. It says, is today Thursday, right? Keeping it really simple. It's Friday Eve, but I'm not going to say that. And then we can have like a radio button list that says yes or no. So I want static items, and I want my yes and my no. So for those of you that have used this before, you notice that by default, it shows the yes and no show up in a vertical way. Now I want to make it show up horizontally. So I have the option of selecting that here to make it spread out real nicely. And then I can go and collapse this even further to make it sort of line up. Do I have a question? Okay. Apologies, guys. See a question? We're going to get to that in a little while. So I'm going to throw this on there. Don't really need it. All right. So I have this, and then I'm going to put my second grid layout on there, which is going to be a follow-up to my It's Today Thursday question. Add in a label that says tomorrow, Friday. Obviously, the answer to that would be yes. Put in another radio button list here. Get rid of that guy. Okay. This would also be a simple yes or no. And then my view here would also be horizontal. Now, here's where the fun starts. You know you would need active form flows to be able to hide this guy and show it when a certain answer is correct or wrong. Now, the character or the quality that I want to show for this vertical stack is to expand the children and then school. So you're going to have the ability to expand this guy right here, but you do need to size your form right, because the vertical stack is not actually going to resize your form. It's just going to hide and show the components on your form. So you need to make sure that your form is big enough that when it unhides the components, you still have enough room to view stuff and scroll through. So coming down here to my active form flows, I'm going to set one up here I should probably rename these guys. So this is going to be Thursday, and this is going to be Friday. Keeping to best practices. These are still really horrible names, by the way, but it is what it is. All right, so my trigger here is going to be my Thursday radio buttons. If the selection is changed, then I want this guy to run. So what do I want to do? I want to show Friday. Heading in here, first thing I want to do is to check the response of the Thursday box. So I can actually use the built-in string equals step to check if the Thursday input is yes. So I want to look at that Thursday response. And if it says yes, then I want to be able to show the Friday responses or the Friday question, which you would be able to do here. So it's multiple controls for Friday. You have the label, and then you have the radio button list. So I want to hide multiple controls and show multiple controls. Other way around. So if the response is actually yes to is today Thursday, then I want to be able to show all the Friday controls. And if not, I want to just hide it because then it wouldn't matter. Once this is done, I would send those to the end. So now we need to pick the controls. Over here, it's expecting a list of controls. So we have to build the array to be able to select. And you can just add as many controls as you want, but we only want 2 of them. Well, actually, might want 3 of them, but let's see. So the first one would be the grid. Oh, I forgot to name my grid. Okay, let's pick the question, and we're gonna pick the answer for Friday. Gonna do the same here. Gonna pick the question. After I build my array. There we go. And then we're gonna pick the answer for Friday. Now, I think my grid layout is grid 3, but I should check it just to make sure. Okay. Yes, so that's grid 3, grid layout 3. So I'm going to go back into my active form flow and make sure that that is hiding as well. So here, I'm going to hit add, and then got that guy. And then over here, we can add that guy as well. Cool. Everyone with me so far? All right. So when this starts, I don't want this guy to be visible. I only want to show it if my response is yes to the Is Thursday question. Cool. So I'm going to save this and get out. Let's see if I blew this. Already? Okay. I'm going to debug this. Ooh. Okay, it's today Thursday. That says yes. And then it's tomorrow Friday. So it shows my question and it shows it with the default answer, even though I didn't ask it to. Now this is very badly arranged. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not do this. Don't design things like me. But key is it works. And this actually helps if you have lots of questions. You don't want to show all of it. You don't want to have random gaps inside your flow. So this kind of helps arrange it so that you're only seeing the list of questions that you would need to answer, or only the the relevant pieces to you specifically. So I hope that's been helpful. It has been really, really helpful for me in my job, because sometimes we do need to design questionnaires and stuff like that. So I see a question here. Jaya Krishna, did I say your name right? Could we take them off mute?
Thank you. Yeah, my name is JK. Yeah. I hope you can read my questions. It's very simple. So basically, I have a report, right? And I want one of the column to be a hyperlink, right? And then I would embed this whole report inside a page/dashboard area, right? And what I would like to do is that when I click on the hyperlink, which is one of the column in that list of rows, I want to open a tab within the page. Inside the tab, I would show more details about that selected row, right? So I don't want to open a brand new browser tab, but rather within the dashboard page itself, I want to see if there is a way I can create a second tab, third tab, etc. Right? So that way I can keep multiple row clicks, all visible parallelly, but they're all hosted in a different tabs. So you see what I'm saying?
Kind of. Why don't we promote you to panelist, and you can share your screen and we can see what you have going on there.
I know, actually, I haven't built it yet, right? This is all in my.
So you want to?
Yeah, I want to see what is the approach to do this. Yeah.
Well, I haven't done it before, so you and I can put our heads together as well as the other attendees and see what we can do here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So you have a report.
Yep. Let's pick accounts. Yeah.
Let's pick accounts. You're right. Okay.
Yeah, let's put account ID as a first column, which will have the hyperlink. And let's put first name, last name. That's good enough.
First and last name. You got it.
Yeah. All right. So now we have the report ready. Let's embed this into a page. So let's create a dashboard page.
Okay. And then we're going to create a page.
Okay. So this is a new version, right? Version 8?
This is version 8, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have version 7.9, but
that's fine. I mean, it shouldn't be that big difference. Okay, go ahead.
It shouldn't be too big. All right.
So let's let's put the report on the left side panel. Yeah.
Is that what I called it?
Yeah, I think you called report 1. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you can expand this. So can you move this side? Yeah, let's use that empty space. Okay. Exactly. Okay, so now I have a report inside a page. Let's add this to a page. Let's create a dashboard folder.
Yep. Gonna do that right now.
Yep. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so I like this so far, right? You see, what I would like to, when I click on that, I want to open a new tab right within this dashboard page.
A new tab in here. Okay.
Yeah, I want this to be dynamic in nature. Yeah. So basically, maybe what we can do, so here's an idea, right? So if you can just, can you right click and do a cut? Yeah, keep it in memory. And let's drop a tab container.
Tab container. So you're thinking of hiding and showing as we go?
See, just do that. And I want this to be only one tab to begin with, right? Just one tab. Because, depending on the user selection, okay, can you paste it? Oh, you already did. Okay. So,
I did.
Okay, so when I click on this, I want to create tab B, tab C, tab D, etc. right? For every click I do, right? Is it possible?
2. Reactions, I see are filter actions. Let's see. Here. You know what, this is an interesting question that I do not currently have the answer to, but I can find out for you, or I can open a support ticket for you. To have them walk you through that. I personally have not done this before. I know this is probably achievable using forms. But
Okay, I mean, I'm open
about...
to all of them, right? So basically inside the tab, I want to show a form, right? With the more details, like a field value type of information, right? That's what I want to achieve. Yeah. So the number of tabs that opens up is not defined at the design time, but it happens at runtime based on the click. It decides, oh, user clicked on it, let me open a new tab.
So have you thought about doing this on one side and maybe using a flow run part on another side?
That's one idea. Okay. But yeah.
Because that's how I would do it. If you have a flow run part, you can actually create a form with all the fields that you would like to see. So when you click whatever, maybe their ID, their account ID, you can send that as a filter to fetch the entities.
Yeah, like a service bus, right? You can or selection bus.
So,
okay.
So you can use that account ID, send it into the flow that's running in the flow run part. Use that to filter out your fetch entity step, get all you need, and then output that in that form. So that's going to show up on this side.
Yeah, but the problem is that, let's say I have so much, let's say I have 100 data points I want to show, right? So I don't want to all shove this into a small area. That's why having a brand new tab with all the data, I can neatly arrange them. So it gives me good look, right? As opposed to shoving everything into a small, a lean display area. So that's why, I mean, this is doable. I've done this many times, but I want to see the other option is possible.
Because I'm thinking that rather than having, because we made this huge, but it doesn't have to be like this half. We can do like a 0.3 and then the rest.
Sure.
So that you still have that view. You have that view in a larger form because you want to show it on a tab. But
tab would be cleaner, yeah.
I'm not 100%, sure on how we would do that.
Okay.
Just the hiding and showing of the tabs on.
And then not hiding and showing. No. So the idea was that you click on a row, it opens a tab, I view stuff, and I close the tab. So maybe I don't know if there's a close tab option available with the tab container. I don't think there is.
I'm not. The thing I see here is open child tab. Is that a button? Let's see, what is that?
Okay.
What does this do? Not 100% sure what this guy does, but
you can give it a try.
See what.
Yeah.
Let's see what the documentation says. Because I like decisions documentation. Okay, so it provides a button that opens a page in a separate tab.
You mean in separate browser tab? Okay, we can see it in action. Can we just give that a try?
Never used it before, so let's see. So how would I configure this guy?
Almost something. All right, let's see.
Let's see it on the page. In child tab.
It opens the same page in a new tab.
It opens the same page in a new tab, yeah.
Yeah, so this is opening a browser tab, not inside.
It's just a button. It's literally just a button that points. Okay. So this is not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I think I might need to go to someone who's a slightly better designer than I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe there is
Well,
no out of the box option, but I'm pretty sure we
maybe
we can come around, work around, right?
Yeah, I feel like there are components here that we can actually use to do
Yeah.
that. But off the top of my head, not sure. Wait, well, what about parent-child reporting? You thought about that?
You mean like a top bottom, right? On the top section, we have that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of similar, but instead of doing it left, right, that's top bottom,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
You can still do it left, right. You can have the two reports side by side.
Yeah.
Where clicking a row in the left report is going to show you all the data points you need in another report to the right. So you can do it top bottom. I've done it top bottom and I've done it side by side. Really depends.
Yeah.
It's your preference.
Yeah.
But
So
it sounds like.
yeah, sorry, you're right. I mean, so the data points, some of them are graphically represented in charts, right? Some are like mini grid. So it's like a mixed varieties, right? That's why if I shove everything into one lean lane like this, or if I go with the bottom option, then unnecessary scroll bars would appear, right? As opposed to using the whole real estate on the screen. I think tab gives me that option, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what if, and I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
What if you have a dashboard that takes in that ID dynamically and populates the dashboard for you with all the data points that you want, in which case you can use the navigate to folder here to do to point you towards the folder that you want.
But the problem is that I don't have this at the design time, right? I may have 100 rows, or I may have one row versus 5 rows, right? So if I make each of the row as a separate folder, I think that's possible, right? Okay.
Yeah. I was rather thinking of populating the dashboard dynamically. So at the point where you click, it's going to populate that information at that point and then show you the dashboard as it looks at that point. So it's just one dashboard, one page, one design. And then every time you click, is just going to pull out. It's basically going to be like a fetch entities, if you will. So you click that, it fetches it, and it just spits that information along. So it's a dashboard. So you're going to get all your charts and your reports and everything on the dashboard.
Yeah. Okay. So I have to visualize how that would be. Okay.
Yeah, there are a number of ways to do it. It's not a one click and done thing, unfortunately.
I understand.
But there are a number of ways that you can get to that
sure.
That end goal. I'm sorry it's not easier.
No, I think you gave some pointers there. Okay, I'll think more on that one. And also, if you could ask the decision support if there is,
absolutely,
maybe there is a trick, right?
Maybe there is a trick. Yes,
yeah.
I am happy to find out for you.
Yeah,
do we have your email address?
You should actually, right? So,
if we do, yep, I have that.
Okay, so please do let me know.
I will follow up with you. Thank you so much for your question.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Okay. We are at the half-hour mark. Anybody else have any questions for me? Apologies if you can hear me typing. I'm putting JK's question in an email. All righty. Well, it is 12:30. If there are no more questions, I will give you 30 minutes back, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.